Hi, I'm Lucy. If you're new to my channel, I make videos on spirituality and mental health. And in this video, I want to talk about astrology, specifically Draconic Astrology, and how to choose which astrology is right for you. So first we have Tropical, also known as Western. And this one is very simple. It has very specific dates. Tropical astrology is the one that the majority of the world follows. Like if you go up to someone and you ask them, hey, what's your sign? They will most likely base themselves on tropical astrology. Also, tropical astrology bases itself on personality traits, like who you are as a person. For example, I was born in May. That makes me a Taurus. But I have to say, I've never really resonated with my sun sign in tropical. I remember in 2017, I would read about Taurus and just not resonate. And I know people will say, oh, but you have so many other placements. I know, I just do not resonate with Taurus. I have so many Taurus placements in my tropical, I just do not resonate. And then I would read about the other zodiac signs and I just really resonated with Aquarius. Like Aquarius felt like my sign. And whenever I would encounter other people who were actually born under the sign of Aquarius, I was just so confused, fascinated, but I'm like, what? Because I acted much more like an Aquarius than they did. So for a while, I was actually convinced that my parents had lied to me, that I was not actually born in May, that I was born in January, February, that I had to be an Aquarius. And at the time, I also had a friend who was getting into spirituality. He's not into astrology like I am, but he does like crystals. And one day he just calls me up and says, hey, I'm going to a crystal shop, so what's your zodiac? I want to get you something. And I'm like, oh, thanks, that's so sweet. So I'm a Taurus, but I don't resonate with it, so get me Aquarius. And he's just taken aback like, you're Taurus, right? Yeah, I'm Taurus, but I don't resonate, so get me Aquarius. And he's like, okay. And then a couple of years later, I find out about Vedic astrology. I'm like, maybe in this one, I might have some prominent Aquarius placements. And I did not. There were a lot of things that resonated, but I still had no Aquarius. Something was still missing. So Vedic, also known as sidereal, does not focus on personality traits. It focuses more on life lessons, karmic lessons. It has the exact same zodiac signs as tropical, just different dates. And a lot of people think that Vedic astrology also has the 13th sign. No, the 13th sign of Fucus is actually a new age spirituality concept. Also, it is a constellation. It is not a sign. And I've looked into all types of astrology, tropical, Vedic, Draconic. None of them have a Fucus. And at the time that I discovered Vedic, I also discovered Draconic, and Draconic was just a trip for me. Draconic astrology is astrology for the soul. Draconic does not have any specific dates. It simply bases itself on the lunar nodes. So the North Node, also known as the head of the dragon, is known as our future, what we're meant to become and accomplish in this life. While the South Node represents the tail. It's what we are familiar with. It's what we are supposed to leave behind. Some people suspect that it's what we were in our past lives. And if you don't really believe in past lives, then look at it at who you were when you were younger. So a lot of people seem to misinterpret and think that you have to completely neglect your South Node and just dive in headfirst into your North Node. No, you need to integrate both because you cannot have your future without your past, obviously. So in Draconic, do I have any Aquarius in my big threes? No, but I do have them in more prominent placements. My entire life, I was very angry. I was operating mainly from my Mars, and I have Mars in Aquarius as well as Mercury in Aquarius and other placements in Aquarius, but I was exhibiting the more negative traits of Aquarius. So all zodiac signs have good and bad traits about them. For example, Aquarius tends to have a God complex, because they are a unique individual, so they may often face rejection. So because of this, we tend to develop a superiority complex, like a special snowflake syndrome sometimes. Not my proudest moments, but yeah. But people can choose to work on themselves and that way start exhibiting the more positive traits of Aquarius. Even as I was doing my fashion astrology series and I covered Aquarius, I thought, yeah, I could wear this. I mean, I don't know where to buy them, but I could wear it. And even though Draconic is not about personality, it's mostly about soul purpose and life lessons, I really resonate with the personality traits of these placements. So in Tropical, I am a Taurus Sun, Libra Moon, and Rising, while in Draconic, I am a Capricorn Sun, Gemini Moon, and my Rising, I am not sure because my time of birth could be 4 p.m. or 4:45 p.m. Not sure. So I am either a Gemini rising or a Cancer rising. Not sure. But these placements resonate a lot more than my tropical. But I was not happy about having so many Capricorn placements for lots of reasons. Because I did not really like the sign of Capricorn. No offense, obviously. It's just I was always repulsed and disgusted by someone who was a goody two-shoes, preppy, sophisticated, who followed the rules by the book. Because rules for me felt very unsafe. I did not feel safe. And of course, Aquarius, rebellion, going against the rules. So yeah, I had a lot of unreasonable anger towards preppy and sophisticated stuff, and the idea just, ugh. But then I did a lot of shadow work regarding my Capricorn placements, like why I was angry about it, why it disgusted me, and all of a sudden that anger just kind of faded. Right now, I'm just very indifferent to the fashion. I don't care for it, but meh. I think that it's way better than being disgusted by it. Also because it's not easy having the signs of Capricorn and Aquarius in your big threes, because these two are ruled by Saturn. Saturn is a tough ruler, and that means that in life you have to work harder than the average person just to get the bare minimum, and I did not like that. But on the positive, it means that your Saturn return will not hit you as hard because like you've had this your whole life, it won't feel any different. So there are some positives to it. And even though I was trying my hardest not to think about this Draconic Astrology, I could not think about it. It was just hanging over my head like a dark cloud. So I tried to give it a second chance because I came across another practitioner of the left-hand path. I think her name is Cecilia Hunters, and she mentioned Draconic Astrology, so I'm like, okay, fine, I will give Draconic another try, and I did. And given that it's so accurate that I resonate, I decided to kind of switch to Draconic. Hi, sorry for the change in scenery. It's just my camera did something weird and I lost a lot of footage. So now I will re-record some things. So mainly, how I figure out which astrology is right for me is I journal about it. So in my case, I'm not entirely sure what my rising is. Is it Gemini? Is it Cancer? So I journal about it. Like, do I resonate with this sign in this placement? If so, why? If not, why not? How do I feel about the idea of having these traits? Because personally, the idea of having these Cancer rising traits makes me very uncomfortable. Not because I don't resonate. I mean, some things I don't resonate, but some things I do, and they make me very uncomfortable because Cancer is meant to be a very emotional and sensitive sign, and I don't like the idea of being sensitive. It's just, I have so many air signs. I have Aquarius, Gemini, Libra in my birth chart, and I also have a lot of Capricorn, and these signs are not exactly known for being warm or affectionate. So having an emotional sign as a part of my personality makes me very uneasy. It's just, but that is something that I can journal about. While Gemini is probably the sign that I relate to the most besides Aquarius. First Aquarius and then Gemini. So Gemini really resonates, but does it resonate as a rising? There are some things that I do relate to. There are some things that I don't relate to. So your rising is how you approach new situations. It's how you meet new people. Basically, how do you react to a new environment? How do you react to meeting new people? For instance, in my tropical, I actually have Mars in Gemini and Mars in Mercury. Yes, I resonate with Gemini, but I never felt that Mars and Mercury were the right placements. They just did not feel right. Another really good way to know is to just experiment with fashion. So, our rising is for social events, it's for meeting new people, new situations. So, try dressing for your rising there and see how it goes. About a year ago, I used to dress a lot for my Vedic, so stuff like Taurus, Aries, Sagittarius. And one time I dressed for my Taurus placements and I looked in the mirror and I thought, yeah, this looks really nice on me. I like it. And then a friend of mine took a picture of me. I saw the picture and I'm like, no, that is not flattering on me. No. So they say that mirrors often make us look better than we actually do. And in my case, it was true. And keep in mind that this is something that took me like a year to figure out. It's not something that I realized right there and then. It took a while. So yeah, this is my advice if you're confused about what astrology to pick and why. But just remember that in the end, no one can tell you which astrology is right for you. You have to decide on your own. And I hope that this was helpful. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Blessed be, and bye.